Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. So this is part 2 of the video, and we're gonna straight into it. We're gonna discuss how does a blade works on a lightsaber. This is a blade for an in-hilt lightsaber. That means that the light source comes from within the hilt and shines through all the way to the tip of the blade. Now this is a Saber Force Affinity blade version 4. This is a heavy grade blade that is tailored or designed for heavy dueling. This is designed for a lot of hard pounding on other lightsabers, and you can feel that immediately because the weight is a lot higher, it's a lot heavier, because this type of saber blade is a lot thicker, have a very thick wall. See, it's hard to see, but it's a very thick wall, as you can see. And inside there is a foil. There's a foil wrapped up. I put my finger on the foil now. You see the darker starting here? This is the native blade color. This is the polycarbon color. And here you can see the inner foil. That's all rolled up and goes all the way to the tip. And this foil you need to keep in your lightsaber. Never take it out, because this foil is there to reflect the light as much as possible. Keep it inside the blade to all the way to the tip, because you need to imagine that if you have just the polycarbon, the light will escape and immediately leak out. It will leak out the light, and then the light source will only come to around here, and then it doesn't reflect all the way to here, because you need something that retains the light and reflects it internally back and forth, so it's all the way up there. And this type of foil still leaves the light through, so you have a semi-transparent foil in there that leaves the light out, because you still need to see the brightness of the saber, right? You need to see the light, so that foil leaks out the light but still keeps a lot of the light in there, so it can go all the way up. And once the light is all the way up, it goes through the tip, and then the light goes out, right? But why is the light not just leaking out, and then this part is bright and this part is not as bright? Because there's something very smart in these lightsabers. This is the tip of a lightsaber. It can be a round tip, it can be a bullet tip, like this. In this case, this lightsaber has something that's called a shine through tip. It shines through the tip. The light shines through the tip. And how this works? Very simple. It works really simple. We got this small thing inside. This is just a piece that reflects the light back. It's a small mirror. Basically, it's a small mirror that is located here. It's horizontal. It's, right under the tip. And what it does is just reflects the light back from here all the way here. So it shines, it just reflects back the light. That's what the mirror does. And because it's a shine through tip, is that it basically has a hole in it. This small mirror has a hole in it, and you can see it if you look very closely. Well, let me see. Yeah, in the back of that blade, all the way, you see the tip, and you see that hole in the center. That is this mirror, because this is shine through tip. And what it does is that it has this small hole, so there's still light escaping through the hole that shines into the tip, so the tip is equally bright as the rest of the blade. Now there's an option where you can buy blades as well that does not have this option. Normally you have to pay a little bit extra for this option. For example, at Vader's Vault you need to pay for this option, shine through tip. You don't get it. By default you get a mirror that is just one solid piece and there's no hole inside, so it reflects the light back, but the tip itself is not as bright. It's a little bit duller, because the light in the tip comes actually from the outer part, from this part here, from the polymer. This part actually allows the light shine still through a little bit to the tip, but it's not as bright as a shine through tip. So I do recommend shine through tips, because your point on the blade itself is equally bright. Now there's a limitation to this. This lens will reflect light back, even if it has a hole or not in it. It will reflect the light back. And what you see 99% on the videos on the YouTube, if people using the proper camera, is that the brightness is equally bright to around here, and then you have a location here where the lightsaber is less bright. There's always like this slightly duller area. It's always around here. That's because the mirror does not reflect all the way back. It only has a certain range, so the light only goes back all this way. And then that duller area is where the LED unit or the light source from the bottom cannot reach all that way, and so it's less bright. So you see that duller area is always around here, and that is always the case. Some people cannot see it, some people can see it, some cameras pick it up, some cameras don't pick it up. In this case I'm using a webcam, and on the webcam you cannot see it. So a lot of the reviews on the internet, on YouTube, you see a very bright saber, but you always have to wonder, ask those people, do they use a webcam or what type of camera they use, because not a lot of cameras can actually pick up that the darker area. So in this case I show you, this tip is not shine through, so the mirror is just one solid piece. You cannot see it on the camera, but I can see it in person, that the tip is not as bright as with a shine through tip. You also cannot see that duller area, but I can see it's duller here. What you can see is this flare base at the base. This is a flare. You see that? It's have a flare here, but the rest of the saber don't have that flare. The reason for that being is because the light source is very bright at the light source at the bottom, and then it will have a little bit additional light leaking here, and then it goes, the light flows into that foil all the way to the tip where the mirror is. Then it goes back to a certain area, and then you have a slightly duller area around here, which you hardly can see at the camera, and then all the way back. It also has to do with the type of lens being used. The amount of flare you have might have to contribute by the fact that you're using a lens with the wrong angle, where the light is dispersed a little bit too much in the wrong direction instead of straight up or concentrating a light beam to the tip. And why that is, I will show you shortly in a different part. But that is basically how the blade works. So the blade reflects the light in this way. So you need your foil, you need this white foil plastic in your lightsaber. You need to have it there. Don't take it out, don't take it ever out. Then you have a mirror in the tip. It can be a shine through tip. Let's say Saber Force has that, or it is a solid tip, solid lens, or mirror I should say. It really depends, and it has its benefits and downsides. For example, this hole in this lens leaves light through the tip, so the tip is equally bright, but also because it has a hole, it has a little bit less surface for the mirror to reflect light, so it might be a little bit less brighter here from the mirror reflecting the light. So it's a little bit of a trade-off in that perspective, but still a very interesting thing to see. It's not always being discussed on anywhere on YouTube, so I think that was a good point to let you guys know. And the next video will be about the inhaled LED unit.